In the comments of our getting in and out video, one of our customers embarrassingly asked me how much I weigh and how tall I am. Well, I can tell you I'm 6'2", but it would be far too personal for me to tell you how much I weigh. Couldn't possibly get into that. But it's a lot. And actually, it's quite a convenient topic. I'm pretty much the limit of what you'll get away with in one of our smaller Series 3 chassis. And that is primarily the first conversation that I have with customers coming through our doors. Finding out which chassis and which configuration of floor pans and seats is the fundamental beginning of finding your own Caterham. So we're just going to take you through the differences in the different chassis, how the different floors work, and some of the finer details of positioning steering wheels and pedals to make sure that you can be as comfortable as possible. This is a Series 3 chassis with standard floors. Now for me, that's a little bit tight. Not just because my head's somewhere near the roll bar, I know we're still underneath, but I'm looking very high through the top of the windscreen, which also means that there'll be a little bit of buffeting. But more important than that, it's vision. The rear view mirror perfectly obscures my view of the road to my left, and the door here is the top of the door is obscuring my view of everything coming from the right. Rather than looking in line with them, you really want to be down and looking through the clear perspex and underneath the rear view mirror. I also have the issue of not having enough space around the steering wheel. Again, because this is a standard floors car and because the pedals are set in such a way that I can't fully extend my legs, my knees are rubbing on the bottom of the steering wheel. But we can fix that. There are two easy ways of identifying whether or not a Caterham has lowered floors. The first is simply to look under the sides. A lowered floor pan will be dished, where a standard floor pan will be flush against the bottom edge of the side skin. Alternatively, you can come into the cockpit. Just remove the base seat swab, assuming you have leather seats, and it will reveal the cross member that runs across the floor pan. On a standard floor, the floor pan itself will be flush with the bottom of this bar. With lowered floors, you'll be able to pass your hand through here. Now here we are in a lowered floors example of a Series 3 chassis, and straight away for me it's far more comfortable. When I shut the door, I'm looking nicely through the perspex rather than into the top of it, and my eye line is underneath the rear view mirror, giving me infinitely better visibility. Not only that, the amount of space I've got here for my legs just makes the car drivable, where otherwise it just wouldn't be. Now that we've chosen our floor pan, it's then a question of looking at the different chassis. Now since the early 2000s, Caterham have offered a larger chassis called a Series 5, or more commonly nicknamed an SV. Here we are in a bigger chassis with lowered floors, and you can see there's so much more room. With the seat all the way back, I'm at full stretch to reach the pedals, and even steering wheel is too far away from me, so I have to move further forward. More than that, it's actually wider too, 4 inches wider, and with the centre tunnel top being the same width, that's an extra 2 inches on each side of the cockpit. It makes a big difference. Being a bigger chassis, they have more space everywhere, and not just in the cockpit, but in the boot, with more space to pack your clothes if you're going away on a long weekend. In addition to that, they have bigger fuel tanks too, so your range is increased, which is one of the many reasons that the SV lends itself as Caterham's Grand Tourer. So there's a quick look at the different chassis and floor sizes. It's important to get those bits right, so make sure you visit your own local Caterham specialist or just come and see us, and we'll sit you in the different options to make sure that you're comfortable. Of course, there are other ways to get comfortable in a Caterham, including adjusting pedals and steering wheels, which can make all the difference when it comes down to it. But we'll do a video on that later, so stay tuned. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Do comment if you have any questions below, and thanks for watching.
No.
Okay, all right, we'll try that again. Yeah.